Hi, I'm Kevin. For lunch today, we're fixing Beyond Burgers, and instead of serving the burgers with French fries, I'm going to serve them with stuffed tomatoes Provencal. So let's have a look at the tomatoes. So what I have here are 3 perfectly ripe but still quite firm tomatoes, or tomatoes. And what we do is slice them in half, but not through the stem end. Just like that. Oh, these are beautiful tomatoes, and they came from my garden. Okay, and then we have to get some of the juice out of here and remove the seeds. So what you do is gently squeeze the tomato to relieve it of some of the juice, and then use your impeccably clean pinky and reach into these little crevices where all the seeds are and hold the tomato over a bowl and just scrape out the seeds. There, very easy to do. Okay, I'm going to remove the seeds from the remaining tomatoes, and then we'll come back and I'll show you in the next step. Alright, that took all of 60 seconds to do, and as you can see, there are no seeds in the tomatoes. And we have these nice little openings for the stuffing. So now, we need to drain the tomatoes, so salt them. I'm using kosher salt here. You could use sea salt or table salt, whatever you like. And also give them a few grinds of black pepper. Freshly ground pepper is always best. It has a terrific flavor. And then you'll need a wire rack and just turn the tomatoes upside down. Here, let me move you out a little bit. Turn the tomatoes upside down on the rack, like this. And then let them drain while we go ahead and make the filling. And also, preheat your oven. If you're going to bake these right away, preheat your oven to 400 degrees Fahrenheit. Now this tripod is wobbling all over the place, and I apologize for that. I really need a new tripod. Anyway, I'm going to use Julia Child's filling ingredients because they are very simple and very, very delicious. Okay, move you in a little closer. Okay, and the first thing you need are breadcrumbs from fresh, white, homemade type bread. And you'll need, a half cup of breadcrumbs. You just put them in a small bowl. I'm going to use slightly more than half a cup. And then we need 2 tablespoons of either diced shallots or diced scallions. I'm using scallions because I have them in my garden. In they go. Also need some parsley. And this parsley also came from my garden, and I just minced it in my food processor, because it is the easiest way to mince parsley. And we will need, roughly a 1/4 cup of parsley. And this is flat leaf or Italian parsley. And now Julia says to use 1 clove of garlic pureed. And I already have a whole bottle of pureed garlic here that I bought at the supermarket, so to save time, I'm going to use that. A nice squirt. And these measurements are approximate. You can always increase or decrease ingredients as you desire. And then I'm going to give this a quick mix just with a fork. And I'm not adding any salt and pepper because I've already salt and peppered the tomatoes, and I don't want them to be overly salted. Okay, then I'm going to add just droplets of olive oil until we get a consistency that just holds its shape. Put that in. Oh, I need a little more olive oil. Yeah, olive oil and parsley and garlic and tomatoes are all considered Provencal ingredients. Provencal meaning the south of France. Okay, I'm going to add a few more breadcrumbs to this. And by the way, I have used gluten-free breadcrumbs from fresh gluten-free bread when I've made these tomatoes in the past, and the gluten-free crumbs work out perfectly well. And just like the parsley, I grind my fresh bread in the food processor. It takes like 5 seconds to do. Okay, let's have a look at the tomatoes. Okay, as you can see, they've already released quite a bit of their juices. Now hang on while I fetch my baking dish. Okay, for this I'm going to use a 9x13 baking dish, and there is no need to grease it. And you just turn the tomatoes right side up. And when you're selecting tomatoes for this dish, you want to choose models that will stand upright. So in other words, if they have a little point at the end, they're not great for this dish because they'll fall over as they bake. And then, where's my spoon? Must have a spoon. Just top the tomatoes with the Provencal stuffing or filling. And as you do this, the filling is going to slip down into the crevices we made when we removed the seeds. Julia says this recipe makes enough for 4 large halved tomatoes, but I have found it is really only good for 3 large tomatoes, unless you're being really skimpy with the filling. And I like a lot of filling on mine. In fact, I like to mound it. A little more on this one. Okay. Now, if you're not going to bake this dish right away, what you can do is cover it with plastic wrap and then pop it into the refrigerator and really bake it at your leisure. You could leave these overnight or for 24 hours before baking them off. Now I'm going to bake, too close, I'm going to bake mine off right now. And again, that's at 400 degrees, and you want to bake them until the breadcrumbs brown attractively and the tomatoes are hot throughout. That's going to take 20 minutes. If you've refrigerated your tomatoes overnight, you'll probably want to add another 5 minutes. Okay, we'll be back when the tomatoes are done. Oh, and I forgot to mention that stuffed tomatoes Provencal go really well not only with hamburgers, but with steaks and prime rib or roast beef. They go really well with red meat. Of course, the Beyond burgers that I'm making are meatless, but they're really meaty. I actually like them better than regular ground beef hamburgers. The tomatoes also go well with chicken and fish. Okay, I'll see you in a little bit. Okay, my tomatoes are in the oven and my Beyond Burgers are sizzling away on the stove. And I wanted to mention that this is going to be, I think, a vegan meal. Oh, hang on, I have to turn my burgers over. Hang on. Yeah, these burgers are just 3 minutes per side. Anyway, I think this is going to be a vegan meal because obviously the tomatoes and their filling, everything is vegan, plant-based, and these Beyond Burgers are plant-based too. And by the way, they are non-GMO, they are soy-free, gluten-free, and what else? Well, they're really delicious. Okay, I'll come back when everything's done and we can have a taste of one of the tomatoes, and then I'll show you how everything looks on the plate. Okay, the burgers are done. And again, that's just 3 minutes on each side. And I do cook them in a bit of olive oil, even though you don't have to. Here they are. And then I have some homemade hamburger buns, which I am going to toast right in the skillet. Okay, we'll be back in just a flash. All right, the tomatoes have baked, and as you can see, the breadcrumbs have colored attractively, and they should be nice and crisp, and they smell wonderful. You can really smell both the garlic and the parsley in here. So I'm going to serve myself just one so that you can see what they look like up close. Okay. Yeah, now you will want to eat these with a fork and a knife. Let's see. Beautiful. Oh, thumbs up, people. Absolutely delicious. They always are. Okay, this makes a very colorful and delicious lunch or dinner. Here's the stuffed tomato Provencal. Here's the Beyond Burger on one of my toasted homemade hamburger buns. And for greens, I have watercress. And the watercress is sitting on a bed of homemade ketchup. So this is my serving. This is Mr. Fox's serving. And here are the remaining stuffed tomatoes Provencal. Thanks for spending time with me today. I really hope you'll give these stuffed tomatoes Provencal a try. They're very easy to do. And you can serve them as I did with, a hamburger, or you could serve them with roast turkey or something else. And I hope you will subscribe to this YouTube channel, and please tap the little bell icon to receive notifications. Also, please post a comment below because I do love hearing from you and I do read all of your comments. I'll see you next time with another delicious recipe. Bye for now.